Good morning, everybody. We've got a mixed trade in the grain markets here on Wednesday. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. May corn futures down 3 3/4 at 668 3/4. December corn is down half a cent at 605 1/4. May soybeans up 8.5 at 1643. Half November beans 5 3/4 at 14.79. May Chicago wheat is down 2 at 850.5. May Kansas City wheat down 4 3/4 at 882 1/4. May spring wheat is up 2 3/4 at 985. You guys are listening on the podcast. Very much appreciated. As always, leave me a rating, leave me a review on that Apple app in particular. Their obligation. I won't try to sell you anything else. It includes my morning email, which goes out about 6:15 a.m. Central every single business day. My text message service, my subscriber-only videos, all of my grain marketing recommendations. I actually did 2 different subscriber-only videos yesterday. In the first one that was sent out at midday, I did a review of the position of large money managers, or the funds as they're called. I talked about the fund length in the corn and soybean markets. I talked about what that means. I talked about some potential implications, ran through kind of the history of this deal. And then the second one I did yesterday afternoon, because after that rally in the wheat market, I had a bunch of text messages and emails from customers asking about wheat and upside price targets. So I ran through the SRW, HRW, and spring wheat charts yesterday afternoon in a video. So if you guys are interested in that sort of content, absolutely check out that subscription deal. The U.S. and its allies will target Russia with sanctions. The U.S., the European Union, the UK, Australia, Canada, and Japan will target Russian banks, elites, and oligarchs with all sorts of economic sanctions. Germany halted certification of the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline, which was completed in September. It's not yet operational. That pipeline would transport natural gas from Russia to Germany. President Biden spoke at the White House yesterday regarding this matter. He said this: Russia just announced that it is carving out a big chunk of Ukraine. He's setting up a rationale to take more territory by force, in my view. This is the beginning of a Russian invasion of Ukraine. Biden went on to say that Russia will pay an even steeper price if aggressions continue. So some fairly tough talk from the president yesterday. The U.S. Secretary of State canceled the meeting scheduled for Thursday with his Russian counterpart following this week's events. So diplomacy kind of hanging on by a thread here. The cancellation of that meeting is probably not a good sign. Earlier this week, of course, Russia moved troops into these 2 breakaway regions of eastern Ukraine. There's not a ton of fresh news here this morning, but this is a fluid situation. It could change at a moment's notice and absolutely needs to be monitored. Some states released monthly winter wheat ratings yesterday. Kansas, Oklahoma, Colorado, Texas, Nebraska, among others. We don't get full weekly crop progress reports from USDA until the first week of April. Your winter wheat ratings here for these key HRW wheat growing areas in the United States are not good. The Kansas crop is rated only 26% good to excellent, down from 30% last month. The Oklahoma crop is 9% good to excellent, down from 16% last month. Colorado increased a little bit, but still only 21% good to excellent. Texas is only 10% good to excellent, which was up from 7% last month. Nebraska unchanged to 36% good to excellent. So these are not good ratings at all. And we still have drought very much active in the U.S. Southern Plains. USDA told us last week that 72% of U.S. HRW wheat areas are experiencing a drought. When you look at the map, here's the last 72 hours in terms of precipitation. Pretty much nothing for any of these HRW wheat areas, maybe a little bit of Texas and Oklahoma, but really not a whole lot of anything. Next 7 days, pretty bare as well in regard to rainfall. There's a little bit of rain in the forecast for the extended period out past 7, 8, 9, 10 days in the eastern parts of Kansas, eastern parts of Oklahoma, but a lot of these western areas of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, up into Nebraska, still pretty dry. Eastern Colorado, still pretty dry. So, the Russia-Ukraine situation has been the big headline grabber when it comes to wheat and the rally there. But you've also got a production issue potentially in regard to the U.S. crop. I know we can kill the wheat crop 9 times or whatever people say, but this is something that has to be monitored. And yeah, rains can absolutely come in and fix a lot of this, but there's just not much in the forecast the way I see it here this morning. The EPA may commit to increasing the use of biofuel. So some more headlines here. I feel like we haven't heard anything about this in a little while. But in any case, at the National Ethanol Conference in New Orleans, an EPA official said that the Biden administration is open to using every tool to fight climate change in the transportation sector, which includes biofuels. So the oil industry and U.S. ethanol producers watching these developments very closely. Jeff Cooper is the head of the Renewable Fuels Association. He said that he has heard from the EPA that the agency is aiming to propose mandates past 2022 this spring or perhaps early summer. He's expecting proposals for 2023, 2024, and 2025 to be announced together potentially. So be on the lookout for some biofuel news here at some point over the next few weeks. Export inspections of corn and wheat improved last week. Soybean inspections were down marginally on the week, but were still really strong seasonally. 975,000 in beans, which is a good print for this time of year. Absolutely. Shipments of corn and wheat absolutely on track to meet USDA projections, I think. Soybean shipments are still a question mark. USDA says by the end of the marketing year, we'll only be down about 9% year over year in terms of soybean exports, yet shipments are down 22%. So again, it goes back to the question of demand for old crop soybeans. Will China and other global buyers take more shipments of old crop U.S. beans because of the South American crop issues? Are they going to steer most of their business toward new crop? That remains kind of a question mark, I think. Keep in mind that the market's inverted. New crop is substantially cheaper, so if you can wait for new crop, you probably should. We did see some flash sales of soybeans and HRW wheat yesterday, and the soybean flash sale was to China. It was 5 million bushels, again, for new crop delivery. So we're starting to see things trend toward new crop in regard to soybean export business again. The wheat sale is interesting. 120,000 metric tons of HRW wheat. That's about 4 million bushels to Nigeria. Of that total, about half was for old crop, half for new crop. New crop is after May 31st in wheat. So it'll be interesting to see if this is a trend that continues. Are global buyers concerned about this Russia-Ukraine situation? Do they come to the U.S. for wheat despite the fact that we are way overpriced on the export market? Those are all questions that I suppose we'll find the answers to here during the next few weeks. The cattle market yesterday was marginally higher in the live cattle and lower in the feeder cattle. Slaughter number still good at 123,000. Not much to speak of in terms of cash. The box beef market was lower. Outside markets are fairly quiet this morning. The U.S. dollar is just down marginally. The S&P's up 30. The Dow's up 200. Bonds off a little bit. Precious metals are off a little bit. Crude oil is down 44 cents in the April WTI contract at 91.48 last trade. Everybody have a great day today. I will talk to you guys same time tomorrow.